Alright, so in the video today we're going to go over how to prepare and protect your classic car from extreme cold weather. What prompted this video is a comment in some of the forums that I follow from a gentleman in Norway who expected the temperature in his garage to be -20. And so he needed to know how to keep his car from getting damage from the cold. There's a lot of things that can cause damage when your car gets really cold. The real obvious one is the expansion of water into ice. Popping the freeze ports out of the engine block or damaging the cooling system. The very first thing that you need to look at when you get your car ready to put it away in the wintertime is you need to fill the tank. Fill that gas tank all the way up so that there's not going to be a lot of opportunities for any condensation in the tank to form ice crystals. If you have some condensation on the walls of the tank, instead of being water droplets, they will turn to ice, and that ice will pose a problem ultimately. So you want to fill the tank. The next thing is when you're working on your car, make sure that you use proper antifreeze. Let me show you what I got here. This is just your typical antifreeze. This is not like a big, a big name. I'm not going to name any names, but there's plenty of that you can spend a lot of money on. But just get some glycol in there. You can see this one right here rates itself at -30 degrees or 34 degrees Fahrenheit. This is a 50-50 mix. You see it has the concentrate, but it's you want to make sure that you either buy a 50-50 mix of water and antifreeze, or get the concentrate and add it 50-50 with the water. But always use antifreeze. Don't cut any corners and just use water if you're living in an area that has extreme temperatures. Well, even if it gets hot where you're at, antifreeze will protect you on the other end as well with extreme temperatures of heat. So get some antifreeze in your cooling system, and that will be a non-issue. If it gets to -34, maybe you need to put this car in a covered garage that has a heater in it. But that's step one. Fill the gas tank. Step two, make sure you have a good antifreeze in your cooling system. That will keep you from having any issues with ice freezing up in your cooling system. The other thing to look at is that if you're planning on starting your car after it's been stored for a while and your oil is just like molasses, it'll take a while for the engine to warm up that oil and to get some good oil pressure and to get the oil running through all the necessary bearings. And so if you do intend on running your car in the cold weather, I would highly suggest getting a heated dipstick that you can use. You can buy those at a Tractor Supply store or buy them online. A heated dipstick is you just replace the dipstick that you normally have, and it has a little heating element that will go down and it will heat the oil. And that will give you the opportunity to, pre-warm the oil before you start it up. Back when I was a kid, used to work on a farm, and we always had heated dipsticks in all of the tractors because it's how you make money. You want to make sure that your vehicles are taken good care of, and you don't want to start them up and wear them out. So heated dipsticks are really important in the wintertime working on a farm. And so anyway, if you intend on running your car in the wintertime, get a heated dipstick. It really does help out. If you don't have a heated dipstick, I'm going to show you another method here where you can use a standard shop light. Here you can see I've taken a light, and it's important on this light here that you use an incandescent bulb. The incandescent bulbs, let me pull this out and you can see they have a a filament. If you can see inside there, there's a filament, and that filament gets hot. Unlike an LED lamp that just gets off light, this will give off heat as well. If you have like a lizard cage or something, that's where this light originally came from. Sometimes you'll actually see that you can get a heat lamp, but any incandescent light bulb will give you enough heat for this little hack. This is a 60-watt bulb. You can see right there it says 60 watts. I don't know if you can get it close enough. Yeah, you're not going to be able to see that. Anyway, trust me, it's a 60-watt bulb. And so what we're going to do is we're going to position this under the oil pan, and I'm going to take some preliminary measurements of the temperature of the engine block right now. It's 31 degrees in the garage right now. It's expected to get down into the teens tonight. And I'm going to put this this lamp up underneath the car and allow the radiant heat of this lamp to rise up and keep the engine block warm. It's just kind of a hack. It'll keep your car to a point where it won't hit those extreme temperatures. And so if you don't have if it's too cold and you forgot to put antifreeze and you know you got water in there, this is a solution that could help you out with that. So let's go ahead and get started with this. All right, so position is everything on this. We're basically turning your car into an easy bake oven. I don't know if you've had kids, or how old you are that you would even know what an easy bake oven is. But basically, an easy bake oven was a toy oven that little girls could make cakes with, that was actually heated by a 60-watt bulb. Anyway, so we're turning your car into an easy bake oven, and it's important. The position that we put the light is important, because if we put the light directly underneath that cross member, we're going to be heating up a cross member, and it's not going to get up to the engine. And you can see the mud plate here. If we put it in front of the cross member, the mud plate will direct any heat away from the engine, so that won't be very productive. So we need to get past the cross member and put the light directly under the oil pan, and that will ensure that the heat gets all the way up in there. One of the things that I've added to the solution here that I think is completely optional is I made these little tinfoil diverters. The idea behind this is we're taking just a very little bit of heat. I mean, the light doesn't put off that much heat, and so any kind of drafts or loss of radiant heat going outward is not going to go up. So if we put this aluminum dam, if you will, in there, it'll help to channel the heat directly upwards instead of outwards. So I've got a couple of those. We'll position those around. I got the measurement just kind of close. It doesn't have to be a tight seal. It just needs to be able to keep the heat going in one direction. So let's go ahead and slide this thing in. All right, so there you see we got the light just kind of set in there. I'm going to go ahead and switch this on. It has a little switch right here. There we go. And I put this last piece of aluminum in here, and we'll make our little easy bake oven. All right. So some things to mention about this. There's kind of obvious. If your car leaks oil, you don't want the oil dripping onto the lamp, because it's going to get hot. It'll make some smoke. You don't want that to happen. It might be kind of a fire hazard. So again, aluminum foil gives you the opportunity to channel some of that. Aluminum foil is kind of neat because you can bend it and shape it however you want, and it gives you a lot of flexibility. And so anyway, let's go ahead and take some base measurements and see how effective this is. I'm going to go ahead and crack open the hood here, and we'll take a measurement of the engine block, from square zero. It's 31 degrees out here right now, so I imagine it'll probably be 31 degrees on the engine. We'll let this run for a few hours, and then we'll take another measurement and see if it's actually affecting the actual temperature in the oil. All right, so here we are. I got the engine compartment open. Let's take some baseline measurements. All right, so on the head we have 32 degrees on the head. If we take a measurement down here, the bottom of the engine block, right where the oil pan, 32.7. And on the timing cover, see if we can get a 33.8. So it's pretty cold, just above freezing. Back side of the engine here, 32.9. Way in the back, 32 even. So it's 32 degrees. It's freezing. It's cold enough for it to. And here's the radiator, 32 even. We're going to run this for a little while, and we'll come back out and check it and see if how much of, if any, of that temperature from that light heats up that oil and radiates any heat through the rest of the engine. Like I said, it's going to get down to 19 tonight, so we'll come back out here and give that a check. One of the things that we're going to do, just to prove the point, is I've got an aluminum water bottle here. I've filled it with water with no air. I got absolutely no air in here, and I'm just going to leave this right here. You can see I filled this inside the house. It's 54 degrees right now, and here's a piece of copper from a heat sink. That'll give us a good measurement of the garage floor, and that is 35 degrees. This the floor of our garage. Come back and check this when the sun goes down, and then I'll check it again in the morning when we're at our absolute lowest temperature, and we'll see how effective this little easy bake oven garage hack is at protecting your engine block from any kind of freezing damage. All right, so it's been sitting out here for a while. Here's the bucket of water and the piece of copper. This is for measuring the garage floor and the ambient temperature. See this, the water is now 35 degrees, and the garage floor is also 35 degrees. So let's go ahead and uncover this and have a look at the engine block. All right, so like I said, it's down to 28 degrees now. You can see it's still got the easy bake oven running underneath the engine block there. Let's go ahead and take some additional measurements. All right, you can see it's 39 degrees at the base of the engine block. 37, 38, 39 degrees. And on the head right here, 36 degrees. We were at 32, so it has increased a couple degrees. Over here, 34. Back of the engine block, 34. So it's hanging tough and increasing a little at the bottom, down by the 39 degrees at the place where the easy bake oven is closest to the engine block, down there where the oil pan is connected to the block. So let's go ahead and close this back up and check it back in the morning when we have expected 19-degree weather. All right, so it's the morning after here. I still got the car under the cover. We got our little easy bake oven doing its thing down there. See the glow. I'm going to start at this end to show how cold it is outside. You can see that says it's 8 degrees, 9 degrees, 18 degrees on the floor. It's pretty cold. But here's the thing. The floor here is 19 degrees, and as I go closer to the easy bake oven. It gets up to 26, 27. As a matter of fact, all the way over here in the front, where I'd expect it to explode this thermos, it's 24, 26, 27. So that's surprising. Let's go ahead and take the hood off of this thing, open up the engine compartment, and see what the temperature on the engine block is. Alright, let's take some measurements inside this engine compartment. All the way on the top. 27 degrees at the head. It is 28 degrees at the bottom. 20, it's 30 now, almost 30 some places. All the way at the bottom of the engine block. On the timing chain cover, it's roughly 30 degrees. On the other side here, 26. All the way at the bottom of the engine block, it's 30 degrees. So it's still freezing. The radiator is 20 degrees, but the engine block stayed pretty warm. So in a nutshell, I'd say that the old shop light under the engine block trick seemed to work. So there you go. If you expect very cold weather and you don't have time to buy yourself a heated dipstick, and you're concerned about popping the expansion, you see there, those right there, those are the freeze plugs on the engine block. If you're worried about popping those out, well, the old easy bake oven trick, the shop light under the car trick, seems to be a good hack that works well. So there you go. Hope this helps you out. If you have some extreme cold, you can get your car under a car cover and put a shop light under there and keep that engine block intact. In case you were wondering, this was completely clear of ice. There was no ice at all. So just having this thing sitting on the garage floor about 3 feet away from that light kept it from freezing all night. So again, a valid test. There you go. That's all I have for you today. I'm gonna go back in the house because it's freaking cold out. Have a good one.